It's all about the moments. Moment after moment, and what it all adds up to. The moment you put in a shift for the very first time. The moment you push yourself further than before. The moment when nobody's watching, and the moment that everybody is. It's the moment the whistle blows, and the crowd roars. The moment when everything goes quiet. And it's all on you. The Women's Six Nations. Live every moment.
Are you ready for it?
Hello and welcome to the Women's Six Nations. Another year, another championship. And we're deep in the south of France for what many consider to be the title decider at this early stage of the tournament. England travelling confidence this time round, but who will win the Crunch 2020? We'll have the answer to that very soon, plus a whole lot more. Reigning champions England enter the cauldron of the Stade du Amour in Pau. Could the red roses bloom, or would it be Les Bleus that blossomed? Two teams who fought out one of the most thrilling 3-all draws in history last year. And New Look Wales took on 2019 surprise package Italy. And Celtic cousins Scotland and Ireland went head-to-head in Dublin. Which of last year's bottom two would come out on top? And joining me for this one is rugby royalty and someone who is no stranger to a spot of silverware herself, Maggie Alfonsi, here to dissect all the action as it unfolds. But let's waste no more time and kickstart another year of drama with this huge, huge game here in Pau. The 2018 winners France against the 2019 Grand Slammers England. Now in the Six Nations, England haven't won on French soil since 2012 when Maggie was still in the white jersey and terrorising opponents, though they did taste test success here in November. So can they back it up when it really matters? Commentary comes from former England hooker Catherine Painter and Nick Keefe.
It's a fixture that really gets the blood pumping. And having not beaten England since this match in 2018 in Grenoble, well, France will be drawing on each waving tricolour flag, each chant of Allez les Bleus to spur them on to victory this afternoon. So looking at the teams for this one then, as France look to avenge those tight losses in the autumn, it's not wholesale changes from coach Annick Hérault as you'd expect. Lee Zarikas coming back into the front row with young Madoussou Fall earning just her 5th cap in the second row. And at halfback, well, Sansus and Bourdon start at 9 and 10 together for the first time with what's becoming a familiar backline. For England, well, Simon Middleton brings 5 of the replacements from that win in Sandy Park into the starting lineup. The powerful Shauna Brown and Poppy Cleal firm things up in the scrum with World Cup winner Vicky Fleetwood joining captain Sarah Hunter in the back row, while Zoe Harrison offers a second playmaker option next to World Player of the Year Emily Scarrett. What will England do here? Hunt for Daly McLean. Little switch back inside for Emily Scarrett. Nearly looked like it was going to work first phase, but now it's Harrison, now it's McKenna, and away for Abby Dow, and England have their first score.
Good score. I mean, the French defence had been really tight, hadn't it? But it was going to happen at some point. The scrum looked a little bit creaky initially, actually, from England, but they got the ball out. France just ran out of defenders, didn't they?
England will go again. It's to Hunter. Oh, and it's got going pretty quickly here. It looks like there's only going to be one answer to it. It's the try for England. I think it's Vicky Fleetwood, is it? Sarah Hunter bringing it down. Front row able to provide the power. Sochat. France wanting to show us what they can do from the rolling maul internationally in the men's and women's games. It's so difficult to defend. Then the carry from Da'ai. Rouen Prop, who was switched to the other side of the scrum, having been playing on the loose head through the autumn. Fall is there as an option. Joining her is Fulani, but we're going with Gaël Hermé, the skipper popping it up for Sansus, and the French creating something from nothing. How about that?
What a response from France. You could just feel the energy of this crowd. I think actually all the hairs on the back of my arm have gone up. It's just quite an incredible atmosphere at the moment, and the French team seem to be lifting from that. Great picks through the middle. There's always quite often a gap there. It's not defended behind the breakdown. Great break from Hermé, and Sansus right on her shoulder. Ever elusive. That's brilliant by France.
Fire it deeper for Tremoulière. Puts a good boot through it, but this is just an invitation for someone like Sarah McKenna, who is trying to call the shots as she gets the run on and then finds Scarrett. But Boujard was well positioned to line up. England's outside centre. Beckett on the shoulder. Does she take out a player? It's then given away to Sarah Byrne. England not going to stop to ask the question. Sarah Byrne all the way to the line. You can hear the question mark in the whistle. Yeah, I'm not sure this one's going to stand.
No, it's not, is it?
No, she wasn't in a realistic position to receive the ball, so it's obstruction straight away. Time back on.
Katie Daly-McLean now for England. Amber Reid, oh, the lovely offload for Emily Scarrett, and Scarrett's trying to scream all the way to the line, and she will. What a score from England. Amber Reid and Emily Scarrett combining. My goodness me.
Lovely clean ball from the line out. But what an absolute fantastic offload from Amber Reid. Takes 2-3 players out, and Emily Scarrett just direct running. Boujard doing her best to get to her. Determination on her face.
Crouch! Sink! Bind! Six!
Oh, but England are penalised at the scrum once again. Now, you would think from this position, it's time to go for post, would you not?
I think they have to go to post. It looks like that's what they're doing.
Job done. The band are giving it all they've got, but the clock is ticking towards the 80. Sarah Hunter with the carry. Time is up. Riley fires it back for Katie Daly-McLean, who boots it into the stand for a memorable win for England on French soil once again. It's a 5th straight win. A 2nd consecutive win as far as the Women's Six Nations are concerned. And England get off to the defence of their Women's Six Nations Grand Slam title in admirable style in Po.
It took us a long time to get a win in France. You know, it's the first time we won since 2012 in a Six Nations game, and it seems like they're coming like buses. You know, you wait ages for one and then you all come at once. So we just try and prep the best as we can, and we know every time we come to France that it will be difficult, and they certainly didn't let us down today. It's not an easy set of fixtures for us, you know, 3 away games. So, you know, we've obviously got off to a good start, but we have to keep going, that's for sure.
Now it's Harrison, now it's McKenna, and away for Abby Dow. Got going pretty quickly here. It looks like there's only going to be one answer to it. And Scarrett's trying to scream all the way to the line, and she will.
Well, joining us now on his birthday of all days is England head coach Simon Middleton. Firstly, happy birthday. Secondly, huge congratulations. The first time In 19 games, France have lost at home in the Six Nations. That's some feat for you and your girls.
Yeah, so proud of him. It was a fantastic game. You know, it had some real open flowing rugby in it from both sides, and then it had some real bump and grind, and it was such a tough game. So yeah, we're just glad to come out of it on the right side.
So Simon, again, happy birthday as well, and congratulations. England had an explosive start, scored 2 tries in the first 20 minutes. How important was that to the success of the game?
Yeah, it was absolutely massive. We spoke about it earlier in the week when we first got together at the Lensbury. We said we had to start the game big. We had to try and silence the crowd, and we got a fantastic start. And we controlled for 25 minutes. We had all the possession, all the territory. We did a great job on France, and we did a great job keeping the crowd quiet. But you know, they had their moment, and then the crowd got up, and you know how dangerous the French are. And then it turned into an absolute battle.
And one of those moments, Simon, just a few moments actually after you scored, they were right back at the other end. I think they'd literally spent seconds in your 22 before Sansu crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really. I mean, the game had a few points where it could have gone either way. So, you know, 12-10, we were hanging in there.
Obviously, a big thing that happened today is that the scrum a few times was obviously inconsistent.
Yeah.
You know, so what are England going to do to now start to step it up and improve that area?
Well, I think, to be honest, we've been pretty good in the scrum, but today we got done by a very good pack at times, and we've got players coming back from injury. You know, Vicky's been out for a long time. We all know Vicky's a fantastic player, and a great set piece player, and we just couldn't quite get to grips with their scrum. But there's no massive red flags there for us. It's just a case of going back to our processes, keep building on the fitness of those players. You know, we had Amy Kincaid's come back in after a long time out international wise, and then you look, and we were experimenting in behind, and it makes a big difference when you've got some really big locks in behind. We're missing a little bit of firepower there, but the girls who came in found different ways, and that's the beauty of the squad.
Thanks very much for your time. Safe trip back. We'll turn our attention now to one of the day's other games, Wales against Italy. Wales all change with new faces across the pack. How did they fare against last year's surprise package? From Cardiff Arms Park, your commentary team, Philippa Tuttiett and Simon Ward.
Forwards are there. Rigoni puts it out into the back line though. The offload is there for Magatti. Magatti's turned turtle. Whoa, that is terrific defence if that is not a try.
Fantastic tackle there by Hannah Jones. Just on the edge, you know, she's not too high. She gets around the top half of the player, wraps up the ball, and then uses her momentum to flip the player
so
onto
stay with
her.
your on-field decision, please.
No try held up, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Barrettine gets the runner. Rigoni goes straight from A to B. Wilkins sticking to her task. Forwards coming around the corner. Jada Franco.
Hands up, Reds!
Sent back by Lillicrap, but here comes Bertoni. She was stopped once, she's not going to be stopped again. And Italy do get the try before half-time that they crave. Bevan out to Crowd, lovely little offload to Keris Hale. Working her way through is Hannah Jones. Hannah Jones drives for the line. And that is a huge try for the hosts. And Wales force their noses back in front. That is a cracking conversion from Wilkins, taking her team into double figures. Franco. How many times have we seen this from Jada Franco?
Leave it, Reds! Let the ball
Again, Italy not going too wide, looking for that thrust close up. Here's another pot of Italians, and again, they are not going to be stopped.
A foot coming in from Paige Randall. If you just see there, she stretches out her foot as well.
Well spotted. Jada Franco winds things up once again. Barrettine with the spot. Barrettine against Randall. Goes past her. Oh, great pull down there. But the try is there for Italy. Barrettine, who made the headway and set up the position. They're under the cosh. Giordano has the ball and has the advantage. Out to Stefan. Stefan's through, and Italy have got their third try. Solari with the conversion, swings it over, and Italy take a 2-score lead. Crabb, the line-out caller, calls to herself. Jones comes in to take the ball and drives for the line! Kelsey Jones gets her first try for Wales at such an opportune moment. Wales are back in this one. Into the last play of what has been a titanic match in many ways. Barrettine just wants another forward to do another half yard. The clock's in the red. Barrettine to Rigoni. Rigoni sends the ball down to Culverhouse Cross. And it's Italy who take another win in Cardiff. They've done it in 2018. They've repeated the feat 2 years later.
How many tries do we stop? They went to TMO from big collisions going in. You can't coach that. They want and desires there, and we're working hard as a group. We just got to keep ball better and take our opportunities, which we didn't do today.
We have to improve ourselves a little bit better in attack. But yeah, their defense was massive today, I think.
We did look good in attack, but ultimately we just didn't manage conditions and we didn't manage the transitioning of the zones well enough today. And fair play to Italy, they did well.
There we have it then, a fourth straight away win for Italy in Cardiff. And Maggie, we can't fault the effort of the Welsh girls, but really this could have been a more comprehensive victory for the Italians, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, Italy had a very good Six Nations last year. They finished second. That's the highest they've ever finished in a Six Nations, beating France in the process. So for Wales and Italy to be that close in terms of the game margin is pretty impressive by Wales. Wales have improved, but they will be disappointed they didn't come away with a win.
What more can they do to improve? We've seen them fight back in the second half previously in the autumn, but too little too late.
I think for me with Wales, it's a team that they've just got to keep building. They've had some changes in their management. Chris Horsham's come in as head coach. They've got a new captain as well. So for me, Wales will get better. They've just got to keep building their structure and their style of rugby that really suits them. But today, I think there were just some areas where they need to improve on. I think the line out and obviously playing the conditions well.
Their mentality slightly different. Wales have already reached the World Cup. Italy haven't. Is that on their mind and perhaps contributed to the win? And essentially, is this the same Italy we're seeing this year as we did last year?
Italy have got some injuries. One of their key players, Manuel Furlan, is out at the moment, and she's going to make a difference not being in the squad. So I expect Italy to be a little bit off the par, but I think they're definitely targeting the next World Cup. I think if they can get into the World Cup, they will make a big difference. Their players are playing really well. A lot of them are playing in the English league now. So, yeah, I just see Italy just getting better. But the next game against France is going to be tough.
Certainly will. Well, we have got one other game to catch up on. Scotland away in Ireland and a return to Dublin for their former coach, Philip Doyle, who took them to Grand Slam glory in 2013. Commentary for this one comes from former Ireland captain Fiona Coughlin and Des Curran.
Ellen Murphy, Senina Upu, and here goes Bevan Parsons. Huge anticipation from the crowd. Taken down by Chloe Rowley. Senina Upu gains a few extra yards on the ground. Ireland just outside the Scottish 22. Edel McMahon. Now Catherine Dane. Lindsay Beach straightens it up in midfield. Support there from her fellow prop in Jungan. Murphy again, Claffey. Here goes Anna Capus. Clean Maloney popping up in the right wing. Maloney, could she go all the way here? She's almost there, she is there. What a score from the returning Clean Maloney. And all those days out injured, all those months in the gym put behind her now. Back in Six Nations action with a bang. Linda Njunga. Dane. McMahon seen plenty of ball. Here's Ciara Griffin. The captain driven back just short. Ireland trying to clean that out quickly. Dane goes right. Senene Upu is over. On her 36th birthday, Senene Upu extends the Ireland lead.
Again, another well-worked try by Ireland, working through the phases, sucking in that Scottish defence. Senene Upu backs herself. She's 2 players outside her and goes over for the try.
Well, this would be a massive fillip of a score if they could get one to head into the dressing rooms with here. Scotland. MacDonald. Now they look for some with Lisa Thompson is over. It's a score that Scotland desperately needed. Went through the phases.
I thought they were going to keep it in the forwards there, but Jade Conkle moved it out and she trusts her backs to make the line. Don't know whether Hannah Smith ran a line to kind of block an Irish defender, but referee didn't call it or see it.
Helen Nelson makes no mistake from virtually right in front. What a massive score that is for Scotland, and that might well change the half-time team talks. Can't budge the Irish scrum this time. Mary MacDonald. Flat ball for Thompson, she was almost in. Law. Bonner, driven on by Emma Wassell. Law trying to orchestrate who she wants where. Skeldon. Right they go. Law, intercept. It's a long way to go, but she might well get there. Gaffney trying to close on Bavian Parsons. She's had precious little ball to work with today, but that is exactly what she can do, the 18-year-olds. What a score. What a read, firstly. It's a gamble to step up, but she judged it beautifully, and no one was catching her from there. And this is heroic Irish defence. Conkle. Oh, they've held her up short, Ireland. Tried to go up and over that time. Jade Conkle. And a chance here for Wassell. She's over. Emma Wassell. Ireland's resistance finally cracks. 18-12, conversion to come. 9 conversions, 1 penalty in her Six Nations history. It's a very tight angle. That is a miraculous kick from Lana Skeldon. Here's the chance to put it in touch, which they have done. It's over. Ireland have won a gripping Six Nations opener. What a contest that went right to the wire.
We had a big point to prove. You know, we worked very hard during the Novembers. We were unfortunate not to get a win against Wales, but the girls have been putting in a lot of hard graft over the winter months, so that result there today means a lot to us.
We gave Ireland too much of a start in the game, and we paid the price, and we turned out to be the better attacking side, undoubtedly, so but we paid the price.
Maggie, how big a result was this for Ireland? They came into the championship off the back of a 5th place finish last year. They needed it, and they have shown their statement of intent right from word go.
Most definitely, it was a close game between them and Scotland. Scotland have improved a lot, and they were 6th last year in the Six Nations, but Ireland had to work hard to get their win, and I think the big interception from Parson made a big difference as well. But just great to see the teams are starting to improve, because Ireland had a bit of a poor performance since the World Cup in 2017, and it's great to see them now start to get back into the game, but also to see Scotland start to really show what their potential is, because they've got some good players.
And that breakaway try from Parsons was the key moment, wasn't it? We can talk about Scotland not capitalising on opportunities, but a word on Ireland's defence, Resolute.
Yeah, look, Ireland are a side that have always had a physical defence. They've got some key players in there. Naupu, who's the captain, and in the centres, always leads the team up. But I think to be able to be camped on your try line and to just hold out until the opportunity came was brilliant by Ireland. So you've got to really take your hats off to Ireland in their defence, and I think that's what won in that game.
Will this be a setback for Scotland? Because they have come into this off the back of a good victory against Spain. You know, they are progressing under Doyle, and we know that both teams will be going for World Cup qualification later in the year. So how will that affect things mentally as well?
I think for Scotland, they'll look at this and take the positives out of it. Like we said, last Six Nations, they finished 6th. They've got a new change in terms of their coaching setup, as well as their captain. And I think that's really brought a new lease of life and energy into the squad. So for them to get that close against a strong side like Ireland, I think is brilliant. And for Scotland, I think they can only kick on now.
Thanks for now. Well, there is a lot more rugby on the BBC during the Six Nations. We'll be back with all the highlights next Sunday at 11:45 on BBC One, with an earlier opportunity at 7:30 on the red button. There's live men's Six Nations rugby with the Calcutta Cup, Scotland against England, BBC One on Saturday, and France against Italy Sunday afternoon, also on BBC One. And new for this year, Women's Six Nations give the Women's Rugby Union weekly podcast a listen on Wednesdays, hosted by Sarah Orchard and Philippa Tuttiett. You can download that via BBC Sounds or on your smartphone podcast app. Well, joining us now to give her final reflections on round 1 is England's Emily Scarrett. Once again, an instrumental part of that performance, Emily. Give us your reaction to the match, because it's another close game against France.
Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. The girls in the change room were exhausted, and rightfully so. You know, you want test matches to be like that. You want them to be tough, and we always knew coming here, first game up, it was going to be that. But yeah, just really thankful that obviously we were on the right side of the scoreboard at the end.
And Scarrett, I guess congratulations on your player of the match performance. How pleased are you with your own individual performance? Obviously getting player of the year last year. Do you feel like you're improving as a player, as an individual?
Yeah, well, you win that and you've got to, haven't you? The pressure's on a little bit. But yeah, obviously you know what it's like. You're playing as part of a fantastic team out there. Some of the girls put in really, really big shifts in tough conditions. I thought Zoe Oldcroft, Poppy, Sarah Hunter just putting themselves about, which was awesome. And, you know, it makes my life a lot easier. And the try, obviously, Amber Reid straight off the bench and that lovely little pop line, all I had to do was just run my fastest. So, you know, as ever, it's always down to, you know, the other 14 girls on the field as well.
And what was it like playing in front of this crowd? So I think there's approximately 14,000. Did it have an influence on the game and I guess the refereeing as well?
It's awesome. You know, that's why we do what we do. We want to play in front of big crowds. We know coming away to France, you always get that, which is, you know, fantastic for us and fantastic for the game. Obviously their game over here incredibly strong, so yeah, it's tough because they're not supporting you and they're cheering and what have you, you know, when things don't go your way. But you know, again, you want to play in front of crowds like this, and hopefully when we have the opportunity to play at home, we can, you know, get sport on our side.
Emily, Grand Slam there for the taking, because I know this was billed as a tournament decider, but something told me if France had won, maybe they would slip up further down the line. Don't really see that happening with England.
Oh, look, you know, we have to judge it. I know it's super cliche and it's not what you want to hear, but we have to judge it week on week. It is what it is. Obviously, you know, today was a really tough game for us. Next week will be another really tough game for us, and continue on that way. You know, if we judge each game as if we're going to win the Six Nations on the back of that, you know, then, you know, keep pushing on and hopefully that comes. But yeah, we certainly don't get ahead of ourselves. We know it's a long campaign, and you know, lots of players will be used within that as well. So, you know, everybody wants to try and beat England. We're very aware of that, so we know we've got to be right on it.
Lots of rugby to come, but England are on track for their 15th Grand Slam, and who would bet against them? Until next week, goodbye.